Okay, we are live. We are just coming at you live tonight. No warning, no page, no, we're going on at this time. We're just coming
We're
on.
just here. We're just here.
Let me
We're
just make sure
just
it's working.
we're just showing up, just popping in.
Just showing up.
So yes. Hello,
Okay, we
everyone. Good
are there.
evening.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see how I can find. Yeah, I need to find us too.
Oh, we got Sappho, we've got Allie, we've got Dawn, we've got Jane. All right.
Yay!
We've got Leslie. We've got Stacy. All right. So Rhea, okay, first of all, Rhea and I are both like a little worn out,
We've
a
had
little
busy
tired. We've
days.
had very busy days. So we thought we would just come on as is, right? Rhea and I were like, okay, can we do now? Can we do now? Can we do now? And I was like, Rhea, I kind of got like my little pajama top on. Like I'm in my Ugg slippers here. And Rhea's like, okay, let's do the topic of be you. Be
Yep.
you. Be yourself. And I
Be
thought, okay,
yourself.
then I don't have to change anything. I got my little chamomile tea here. I'm all ready to be me, Rhea.
That's right. It's and you don't have to be ready to be you. You just are you. It's not something, it's the person that you're closest to. It's not someone that you have to have a meeting with to go through your notes on, okay, so this is what we're going to do, this is how you're going to represent yourself. No, you are you. Now the thing, and that sounds really easy. That sounds so easy. And it's just best to be yourself, because eventually people will find out who you are anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a journey. It really is a journey, because you go through, or I can speak for myself, stages where I thought I was supposed to be a certain way, and this would be better if I looked, acted, spoke, did these things, toned this down. Am I too loud? Do I talk too much? Am I too opinionated? Am I too, this, or then you go back, that way, because when you're on this side, then you have people who like that person that you've become, although you don't feel most comfortable. But there are people who don't like that person. Then you switch over to the other side to try to please the other group of people. And, and what you find out is you're not happy, because you're not yourself. And, being ourselves does not mean that you cannot change. That doesn't mean that you cannot change, but you listen to yourself. You understand what it is and how you envision yourself. What is your self-image is a very important thing, and a very important question we ask. We ask you, we ask ourselves. You've heard us say you cannot outperform your own self-image. So you've got to take that time and sit with yourself and understand who I am, who I envision myself, who I want to become, or not who I'll still be myself, but recognizing the things that you can do in the future. What do I see myself doing in the future? Or we talk about being a success. What does a successful person look like to me? Do I see myself as that person, as that type of person? It takes work, but ultimately you have to be yourself. So there will be people who don't like your haircut. There will be people who don't like your shade of lipstick. There'll be people who don't like your voice. They think you're too short. They think you're too tall. There will always be people who have something to say about, but just, this is my skin. This is it. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And I became happier almost instantly when I made the choice just to walk in my own truth. And it is a journey, and it is something that I'm faced with on a regular basis, where something new comes up and it's like, so how am I going to move forward with this? Well, I move forward with this as Rhea Altamira,
Yeah.
and how I
The
think
one
it
and
best to
only.
handle things. The one and only.
Yeah. Really? Right? I mean, you
Yes,
are the one and only.
each of us is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing. That is, we are so precious because God only made one of us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes.
And so when we're not being our authentic selves,
Hmm.
we're not bringing out the gifts that we were born with, that we are supposed to be giving this world. And so, you know what? Sometimes we're tired, right? Sometimes, this is what life looks like in this moment.
Hmm.
And so we decided to just be real tonight and just go on the way we were and talk about what it means to be you. Because in this moment right now, it's like a snapshot in your life on your way to where you're going. And it's about enjoying every step of the way. I'm kind of loving being in my slippers, my pajama tops and sweats and my chamomile tea. It's feeling pretty darn good.
Well, I do. I also have my slippers on, but and my fluffy purple robe. Although I still have I'm still dressed. I'm still dressed, you guys. Okay, but I've got. But I was a little chilly, so I put my fluffy purple robe on. But
Mm.
in being myself, I had to put on lipstick before I came on. I did. I did.
But that
I
is part of you.
That's
That's
right.
you. That's you. I don't own a lipstick, but and this is why, like, it's so great to appreciate the things about people that make them who they are,
Yes, absolutely. And
you know?
we're not all the same, and that's what makes it so much more interesting to me.
Yes. And so what makes you you? And are there parts of you that you don't want to show?
Hmm.
Because you're just like a beautiful person. Whether you are ready to step out or ready to cuddle up on the couch, and it doesn't matter where you are in your life or where you are in this moment, everything, every stage has something beautiful in it. And whether you're tired or you're full of energy or you're happy or you're just being still, you're a beautiful person.
That's right. And sometimes the things that will attract people, the things about you that will attract people the most, are maybe some of those things that you think people don't want to see. Laura, help me with this quote, this John Maxwell quote.
Hmm.
It is that people are more impressed by it. I can't get it straight. The bottom line is people are find you more interesting when you show them your flaws, show
Hmm.
them your authentic self, than they are if you try to show them that you're perfect, than
Hmm.
if you try to impress them. It, we we're bombarded by people trying to impress us. We turn on the TV, and every commercial they're trying to impress us.
Yes.
Sometimes with facts and information that are not correct. Sometimes with images that are not real. And
Hmm.
so we have a natural barrier when it comes to that kind of thing. And so when you see something that's real, something that's authentic, you identify with that. At least I do. I say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has days just like I have those kinds of days. She struggles with some of the things. She understands my struggle. And I
Yeah.
get that. And that is what attracts me.
Yeah. Even in a world where we don't have to be real, right? There are filters, there's recordings. We don't
Oh.
have to come live the way we are right now. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what? We are. We could record this. We could fix our hair. We could put on shoes instead of slippers and shirts instead of pajama tops. And we could record it, right? That's the world. There's a lot of recorded stuff out there. There's lots of ways to filter and Photoshop and all of that. But there is nothing like being real. And I think that's because you know when you're real.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it when you're being real. And there's just something empowering about being you.
And you know what I love? Children. Children can smell a phony like, like a rotten egg. I mean, it's just they can pick it up
Yeah.
so quickly.
Isn't it true?
And it's really it's amazing. There's something about their innocence and their openness that they can read. They recognize authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. It's one of the things I do like about working with kids is that they'll lay it out there for you.
Oh, yes, they will. Oh, yes, they will. And and they're also free.
Mm-hmm.
They're free to be who they are until, even they get to a certain age where they start to realize that people are judging,
Yeah,
and then they start to second guess a little bit, right?
yeah.
But until the world does that to them, they're just happy being whoever they are.
And that makes me sad too.
Mm-hmm.
When you see kids and you work with them and you're like, oh, they're so wonderful, and then you can see that something has changed. Something has changed. Maybe they doubt themselves. They're not as open as they used to be.
Right.
And it's like, oh, here we go, here we go. But that is also why, when you have an opportunity to work with a child and to help build that child up, even if it's just complimenting them on the wonderful things that they do,
Mm-hmm.
or reinforcing the even if it's constructive, helping them grow and develop and
Yeah.
being interested in them and what they're doing and what they think because quite often kids are told, oh, you're little, when you grow up, but they have things to say too.
Oh, yes, they do.
So
They do. And you know what? We should want to know what those things are,
mhm.
because there's a lot of people slamming this generation of students. We hear things about, well, they're always on their phones and they don't have eye contact, and they're never going to be able to do a job interview. Just all of this stuff about this generation. And the truth is, they're pretty incredible people. They were born into an anxious world. Parents are anxious. Teachers are a little anxious. There's a lot of fear out there, and they feel that. And they have a lot to say. And if they know that you're interested in it, it is amazing how much they want to share with you. If
Yes.
you can come from that place of curiosity and not judgment,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
place where you're really curious about what's going on in their life and how they do feel about things, what their opinions are, when they feel that you really are coming from that place, sometimes you're like looking at your watch, at least me, and I'm like thinking, I have to get going soon. That's how much they will share with you.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Rhea, isn't that the same for people that are even older? When you
Yes.
show a genuine interest in someone
Mhm. Mhm.
and then you watch them like almost shine, that you're asking them questions.
Well, and that's how you connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great book. We know it. Everyone communicates, but few connect. And and it's like people talk at each other. People talk so they think to one another. But are they really connecting? Are you connecting with someone? And
Right.
and I've watched people who seem to be who are very successful at doing that, at engaging other people in conversation. And a
Yeah.
lot of times it is because they're curious. They
Yeah.
not to the point of being, well, sometimes to the point of being nosy, but generally it is, I want to know more about you. Tell me about this. Tell me.
Right.
And sometimes people, if they believe that you're genuinely interested in them, will share.
Oh, yeah.
And you learn things when people share with you. and you build a connection, you build a relationship in that way. So it's
Right.
very important.
And
Yeah.
when you connect with somebody on an emotional level,
Mm-hmm.
on a feeling level, people don't do that all the time. So when you can connect with somebody on that feeling level and they know you get them and you know they get you, that connection is a priceless gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a priceless gift. So let's see what people are weighing in on this.
Yes, yes,
Being
yes.
yourself. So Safa says, "Be you," because everyone else is taken, baby. That's so true. We don't get a choice, right? Allie loves the topic. Safa says, "Be your authentic self." Leslie sent in some hearts.
Hello,
Um,
Leslie.
Safa says, "Being who we really are is attracted to our real purpose, is attached to our real purpose." I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't, I've got the glasses on and I can't read with them on that, further away. So let me get to this.
Can you see it?
Can you read it?
Being who we really are is attached to our real purpose, clarity, being
Mm,
clear on who we are, why we are here. A confidence based upon knowledge of our purpose.
mm,
Reflect, focus, create. It's an ongoing process. It really is.
yeah.
That's why growth is so important.
Mm.
Hmm. I hear you,
Oh,
Safa.
that is so true, right? Being who we really are is attached to our purpose.
Hmm.
That's pretty powerful right there. Thank you, Safa.
And it's an
So
ongoing process.
yeah. So
Yes.
when we're not who we truly are, we're a little further away from our purpose, right?
Hmm.
So true. So Allie says, for at least 10 years, I compromised being myself and let broken people define me. I didn't, I really didn't believe life could be ridiculously amazing until I changed my entire inner circle, went on the most incredible journey of my life in coaching, and the real me blossomed. Coaches change lives, a safe place to grow, learn who I am, and accept who I am is an invaluable gift. The curiosity and love you're speaking of is what set me free. Mm,
All right.
wow.
That is great. A great well there are two things that have to happen in a great coaching relationship. Certainly, absolutely, you have a great coach. But a coach, there's that line from The Wizard of Oz where Glinda says to Dorothy,
Mm,
the answer was in you all the time.
all the time.
And it's someone who helps you bring that forward.
Right.
And you have to trust that relationship to, because it may be uncomfortable, but you have to trust that the
Yes.
process. You really have to trust the process and trust the guide that you have through that process.
Right. And that's what
So
a coach is, right, Rhea? A coach is not the one that's going to take any credit for your growth because you're doing the work.
mm-hmm,
But a coach is
absolutely.
a guide and it's a practicing guide. That person walks the talk, hopefully.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And that's important too. Like, you know, if somebody walks the talk when you look at their life, not what they say, but what they do, how
that's
they
right.
live their life.
That's right.
You know, Paul Martinelli always says, you don't have to tell me anything about yourself. Just give me your calendar and your checkbook, and
Mm-hmm,
I'll know everything I need to know about you.
mm-hmm,
How you spend your time and your money,
mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
right? So true. I love that because it is so true. We can talk, we can yap for days about, how good we are or what we do, but it's really in the actions, the behavior, and how people spend their time.
Mm-hmm.
That tells them who you are.
I remember actually reading Susie and hearing Susie Orman, the financial
Yes.
advisor person, talk about how she could tell a lot about a woman by her purse, not by the designer of the purse, But
Really?
if she took that purse and opened it up and looked
Mm.
inside the purse, what would she learn about that purse?
Oh, oh, gee. Okay. That's interesting.
And she talked about wanting to use that on a job interview. Just let me see the inside of your purse and see, are you really as organized as you say you are? What's
Isn't
going
that
on with you?
interesting?
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting. So Allie says, reminds me of the law of modeling. Age doesn't matter. When we emotionally connect with anyone of any age and they truly get us, we grow and emerge as our true selves. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that is the idea: is to be your true self, to be
And Leslie says, yes,
comfortable.
our lady Crystal is on.
Crystal.
And Leslie says, good stuff. Yeah.
Leslie was my table mate when we
When?
went to when we went down to Atlanta the first day.
Oh,
Leslie and I sat next to each other. Yes. Actually, I think we were table mates twice, but I know we sat next to each other the first day, the BYEB.
yeah.
Yeah. She and I were,
Oh,
were partners in
wait.
some
So
of the exercises.
I was at your
You were on the
table?
right. You were on
I
my
was
right
on the other
side, and she was
side.
on my left side.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I know who you are, Leslie. Oh, awesome. Thanks for joining. So Christina's on. She says, "Oh my, Susie would think me a mess."
Ooh.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to look inside your pocketbook.
Oh my gosh! To turn that thing out and say, "Oh, that's where that is."
You never know what's coming out of your pocketbook. The other
Oh
day,
my.
somebody needed a pen, and I said,
Hmm.
"Oh, don't bother going." They were like, "Oh, I can't find a pen. I can't." I said, "I have plenty of pens." I didn't look. I put my hand in the bottom of my pocketbook, and I pulled out what felt like a pen, and I just gave it to them. And she said, "Oh, it's a Tide stick." Those Tide sticks? I'm like, I didn't even know I had a Tide stick. So yeah, it's pretty funny what people can find in our pocketbooks at some point.
Oh yes, yeah.
But
My
um
purse.
but so Rhea,
Hmm.
how at what point in your life do you feel like you really started being that authentic you?
Oh, it
At what
was
point?
for me leading up to and this sounds really late, but I'm not going to judge it. Leading up to 50 was things when I started having greater
Mm,
insight, greater self awareness, and then having to say to myself that I wasn't happy about some of the things that I'd done,
yeah.
some of the things that I was doing. I wasn't completely happy with myself, and wasn't happy with some of the events or things surrounding me, and then I realized, well, I have the power to change that.
Yes, you do.
That actually is a great moment when you can say that. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy
Mhm.
about that. Well, guess who can change that? I don't have to get in line. I don't have to wait for someone else to decide that what I want to do is important.
Mhm.
I have decided that this is a priority and this is something that I want to change. I have that ability. That is a gift. That is a great thing. And it's for me it was exciting. It
Yeah.
was scary. It was really scary, but it was exciting as well.
Now, do you think it had to do with turning 50, or do you think it was really about the awareness?
I don't know if it was strictly the age. There were oh, hang on.
Oh no, don't go out on me.
No. I had to plug the phone in. I, I I don't know if it was strictly about age. Maybe that was just it coincided
Uh-huh.
with
Right.
my age, but there were also there were things that were happening. And I had gotten to a point where I felt like whatever my definition of success was, I hadn't hit it. I'd missed the mark. And I felt all kinds of things that I didn't realize that other people went through this too. I didn't realize that people had their own, inner bully, beating on them and saying nasty things to them. I didn't realize that. I thought I was the only one. And that's an interesting thing too, when you coach people and you find, they think, I don't know, this sounds really weird, but I thought, oh, no. You're not alone. You're not alone in that. So learning that I was not alone was actually the beginning of healing and of growth. And then to be able to, I'd worked with a coach before, but we missed it. Coaching, because they talk about the difference between executive coaching and life coaching. And I think they're merged more than people understand. And I'd had a coach that was working with me purely on the career side. And we weren't dealing with the personal, the life issues, my true concerns that were undergirding all of these other issues. So when I think to answer your question, I think it was more an awareness than it was driven by age. I think I just happened to be at that age, but
and that's why
yes.
That's why I asked you to clarify that, because I don't want people to think that, it has more to do with age, because I really think that we both know that it really stems from awareness. And if we had gotten the awareness that we had when we turned 50 at 30, then we would have known it then.
That's right.
Right. So it is
right.
such we cannot be where if we're not aware.
That's right.
Right. But when you're aware, you can be where. And you just, the way you look at everything changes, like before your eyes.
It does.
Right. And so
it's a gift.
It's definitely a big awareness. So is this Safa? Yeah. So Safa says we have the power of choice. It's not easy, but nothing great was easy. Once we become aware, the shift will happen. Yes. Yeah, it's aware. The awareness is a key factor. And how many times do people spend time being aware? I mean, really, not everybody does it.
Well, and after you start opening up your awareness, you notice, in other people, I'll see something, someone does something and I realize that person, it's not that that's a bad person. That person just has limited self-awareness in that area and needs to open that up. So yes, the awareness piece, it just, like I said, it just coincided with me turning a certain age and different circumstances in my life and feeling stagnant, and then owning up to my role in that and my choices and learning so much in the process and getting beyond people's judgments. Because even as I was trying to learn more about myself, trying to become my more authentic self, there were, not just in my head, but there were people in my ear saying things like, why would you be involved in that? Why self-help is a joke. That's a ripoff. And everybody, okay, fine. Why would I not want to help myself? But if why would you not want me to help myself? If I'm telling you that there's a need that I have, why wouldn't you want me to help myself? And to the extent that you don't, you're gone. Cut off.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear what you have to say. I love you. I'll invite you over for barbecue, but I do not need to hear your opinion on that part of my life. I don't. It's not required.
Okay.
So, I need to hear more from myself, which is why, as I need to hear more from myself, this is why the journal is important. And because it became a way that I could
Yeah.
hear
Mm-hmm.
from myself. Yeah.
Right. And you begin to go a little bit deeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to understand yourself. And really it is about that awareness. And I mean, age, like John always says, right? Experience is not the best teacher. Evaluated experience is.
Evaluated
Right?
experiences. That's
So
right.
it's when our awareness grows, when we grow our way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Crystal says, I don't have the comment on here, so I can't show it, but she said, "Oh no, I had that bully for a long time. When I started realizing me is when I started the John Maxwell sessions with Rhea and Laura. Age has nothing to do with it."
Yes, that's
Thank
right.
you, Crystal. And boy, we had a great group, didn't we? Rhea, we really have to run another group because
Yes.
Crystal
Soon.
she reminded me of that group, and that was just so much fun.
Yes.
John says, evaluating the experience that matter, not how many years we live. Safa, did you say that before I said it? Oh my goodness. She says her favorite John Maxwell quote is, "A winner knows how much he still has to learn, even when he's considered an expert by others. A loser wants to be considered an expert by others before he has learned enough. Wait, before he has learned enough, little he knows." Rhea, do you see that comment?
Do I?
We think alike. Yeah, I guess we do, Safa, because I said it and then I looked and you had a comment.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Great minds think alike.
Yeah. So lots of great John Maxwell quotes on topics as being yourself, because that's a big part of what we talk about is,
Yes.
when you're authentic, there's no competition. When you're you can't go wrong being you. You can never go wrong being you.
And learning about things like your mindset, the difference between an abundance mindset
Yeah.
and a scarcity mindset. We need to talk. We'll pick a time we can talk more about that. But and the way that plays out in how we live, how that manifests in the way that we
Mm-hmm.
live,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important. And yes, so tonight we've been talking about being ourselves. We've shown up in our fuzzy bathrobes and our shoes with the feathers on them. See, I got my little shoe too.
There you go. Right. So
I,
we're modeling what we talk about. We really, when
that's
Leah
right.
says we talk about what goes on in our lives unless you give us things that you'd like to talk about, she's not kidding,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me last week, where was I? I was somewhere and they said, "Oh, you're doing tune in tonight." And I said, "Yes." And they said, "What's your topic?" And I said, "Well, gee, I don't really know yet." And they started laughing. And they said, "Oh, come on, you don't want to tell us?" I said, "No, I really do." Rhea and I talk about 15 minutes before we go on, and we talk about, so what's going on? What
Yes,
should we talk about? What's happening,
that's
that we
it.
can bring to light? So we really are pretty spontaneous with that. But again, we would love to know what you want to talk about.
That's right. Just
Okay. So
let
yeah,
us know in your
let us
comments.
know.
You know what, Laura? Some of my staff members, some of my team members from my job actually watched this.
Oh,
We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and it was on a Wednesday, And one of the ladies on my team asked me, she said, I couldn't find the Tune In Tuesday last night. Did you post it yet?
I told you that happened to me at work too. It's so funny because you have no idea who watches,
That's
right?
true.
But Rhea has put together a YouTube page, which I'm trying to figure out how I can post on. But for right now, she's putting some of our tune-ins on there. So we are going to be creating a YouTube page. And
Yes.
we're also going to put together another mastermind group, another
Yes, we
learning
are.
group, because that was awesome. Crystal reminded me of that tonight. Okay, so
So
you want to
thank
start
you
us
all
off?
so much for joining. And if you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to click the, I don't know which side I'm supposed to point at, but one side or the other, to click subscribe, and
Yes.
also click the little bell so that you receive a message as soon as I post. I try to post either the evening that we do Tune In Tuesday or the next day. Sometimes it's a little later than that. But you'll get the notification as soon as we post. But we do post every week, and we will be going back and pulling forward all of the old Tune In Tuesdays from
Right.
earlier
Some of
this
them are
year and
pretty
last
funny.
year. So
Some of them are pretty funny.
including the ones where we where one or the other would disappear.
And I'm like, how many were we? Rhea, I think we're on. Are we on? Rhea, are we on? Listen, this did not come easy to us. Neither one of us knew technology when we did this. But we're also, once we get the YouTube channel going, we're also going to, run some groups on there, put some messages, put some of we're going to do a little, some teachings. We're going to put that on there. So it's worth subscribing to it. We are going to build it up.
You
But,
can tune in. It's Tune In Tuesday with Laura and Rhea. So you can find us where we are out there.
yeah. So everybody go cuddle up, go get warm and fuzzy and relax and give yourself a nice little smile and
Yes.
feel darn good to be you.
Yes, absolutely. It
Because
is wonderful.
we're glad that you're you.
Yes, yes. And because it's you we're working with so that you can lead a ridiculously amazing life. That is what we want for each of you.
Yes.
And ourselves too.
Yes, wholeheartedly for everyone. So enjoy your evening. Take joy in who you are. And until next week, have a ridiculously amazing one. Good night,
Absolutely.
Rhea.
Good
Love
night.
you.
All right. Love you too. Bye, everyone.